Back again. Some more circles in our geometry assignment 10. Let's math it up. All right, so similar to last assignment, we're going to be finding the circumference, we're going to be finding the area of circles, and then we're going to reverse that and we're going to find the diameter or the radius given the circumference or the area. So we got to uncircumference and area size. Those are stupid words. All right, anyway. Let's work on number 1A. So it says find the circumference of the circle, and all of question 1 is finding the circumference. So the first one, we're given the diameter. So the formula, always write down the formula, is going to be circumference is equal to diameter times pi. I don't like that pi symbol. Diameter times pi. So we know the diameter and we know pi. Let's write it out. Circumference is equal to 14 times 3.14. Let's use our trusty calculator. 14 times 3.14. 43.96. Circumference is equal to 43.96 centimeters. Now remember, if you're using the actual calculation of pi with the button, it's going to be slightly larger than that. And that's probably what the answer sheet is going to be looking for. So it might be like 40, it might round it up to 44. 43.96 is still accurate enough to be correct. Okay, especially if you're showing your work, your teacher will be like, I get that, that makes sense. Okay, number 1B. Okay, so we're given the radius here. We got to multiply this by 2 times 2. So this is going to be 9.8. Our diameter is 9.8. So we're going to go circumference is equal to diameter times pi. So circumference is equal to 9.8 times 3.14. 9.8 times 3.14 is equal to 30.77. Circumference is equal to 30.77 feet. And I will box my answer to show where it is. It's always a good habit to have. Next question, back to given the total diameter here. So circumference will be equal to diameter times pi, and we know what the diameter is. It's 8.2, and we know what pi is, 3.14. We can simply pump that into our calculator. If I could remember what it was, 8.2. 8.2 times 3.14 is equal to 25.748. 25.74, let's leave it there, inches. You could say 0.75 or 25.8 is probably what the answer sheet has, but that's okay. Okay, all right. It's giving you the radius again, so we got to multiply that by 2 times 2 is going to be 10.4. So circumference will be equal to diameter times pi, and circumference is equal to 10.4 times 3.14, which is a close enough approximation of pi. So circumference is equal to 10.4 times 3.14, 32.65. 32.65 5 kilometers, km, kilometers. And number 1, E, 4 feet, and it gives you the diameter, so we already have it. Circumference is equal to diameter times pi, which is equal to 4 times 3.14. Circumference will be equal to 4 times 3.14, 12.56, 12.56 feet. Important to have that unit of measurement attached there. That's, yeah. Oh, that's 1 more and 1. Whoopsies. And this last one, we're going to multiply by 2 to get our diameter. So this is going to be 6 feet for our diameter. So we go, well, circumference is equal to diameter multiplied by pi. And circumference will be equal to 6 times 3.14. Circumference is equal to 6 times 3.14, 18.84, 18.84 feet. All right, we're off to a good start here. And we are moving on to our next section, which is find the area of the circle. So remember that formula for area is equal to the pi times radius squared. Pi times the square of the radius. So the first one, it gives you the radius, 8. So we go area is equal to pi r squared. Our area will be equal to 3.14 times 8 squared. Our area will be equal to 3.14 times 64. 64 times 3.14 is equal to 200.96. Area is equal to 200.96 miles squared. The answer, I'm sure, rounds up to 201, but that's okay. All right, this next one gives you the diameter. We don't want the diameter, we want the radius. So we're going to divide this in 2. 24 divided by 2 is going to be equal 12. So the radius is going to be 12. So our area will be equal to pi r squared, pi radius squared. Area will be equal to 3.14 times 12. I'll write that better. 12 squared. Our area will be equal to 3.14 times 144. And we can do that. 144 times 3.14, 452.16. And area will be equal to 452.16, right? 16, yes. Centimeters squared. That is our answer for 2B. 2C, all right, gives us our radius. Area is equal to pi r squared. Area is equal to 3.14 times 10 squared. Area is equal to 3.14 times 100. Area is equal to 314 feet squared. Nice. Don't even need a calculator for that one. 2D, 20. 22. So we're going to divide that by 2, and that's going to become 11 as our radius. We are given the diameter, but we don't want the diameter. We want the radius. So our formula will be area is equal to pi times r squared. We know pi is 3.14, and we know our radius is 11. That's 10. 11 squared. So our area will be equal to 3.14 times 121. And I'm going to use my calculator. 121 times 3.14. Whoops. 121 times 3.14, 379.94. 379.94 miles squared. That's our answer. And that would be rounded up for sure to 380. Okay, E, we have our radius already. That's good. So we'll go area is equal to pi times radius squared. We know our radius and we know pi times 7 squared. We know what 7 squared is, and our area is equal to 3.14 times 49. Weird. All right. Area is equal to 49 times 3.14, 153.86. 153.86 inches squared. All right, moving on to our last question of this section, and it gives us, oh no, the diameter. We divide it by 2, and that gives us 3 for our radius. We don't want our diameter, we want our radius. Area is equal to pi times radius squared. Our area is equal to 3.14 times 3 squared. Our area is equal to 3.14 times 9. Our area is equal to 3.14 times 9, 28.26, 28.26 miles squared. All right, so now we're moving into some backwards stepping moments. All right, so I'm just gonna jump over here. So we have the circumference, we don't know the diameter. So we know some parts of this formula. So let's look at it. Our circumference is going to be equal to diameter times pi. Now, we know some of these, but we don't know diameter. Circumference, 31.4, is equal to diameter times 3.14. Now, to get this diameter by itself over here, we can simply divide 3.14 from both sides. 3.14, right? It's being multiplied And we want to do the opposite, so we're going to divide. On this side, it turns into 1. On the other side, we're left with 3.14. Oops. 31.4 divided by 3.14 is equal to diameter. So we can do that. 31.4 divided by 3.14 equals 10. Oh my goodness. If you didn't see that relationship happening already, now you see it. So that's going to equal 10. Will be equal to our diameter. And that means our diameter is equal to 10 centimeters. That's our answer. I think some of you might have figured that out already with the whole 10 thing. Whoa. What happened? Weird. Anyway, moving on. All right, next one. We have our... Oh, yeah, okay. Circumference is equal to pi, or diameter, times pi. So we have our circumference, it's 69.1 is equal to diameter times 3.14. We don't know diameter, we want to know diameter, so we're going to say divide by 3.14 on both sides of this equation. This side, it cancels itself out. Becomes redundant, it turns into 1, which doesn't matter. But on the other side, it simplifies it to the value of d. So it's going to say 69.1 divided by 3.14. 69.1 divided by 3.14 is equal to 2200. So our 22 on this side is equal to our diameter on this side. And then, of course, we can simply say diameter is equal to 22 centimeters. That is our answer. Number 3C. Our circumference is equal to diameter times pi. Our circumference is 62.8, and that will be equal to something that we don't know times 3.14. We simply divide by 3.14 on both sides to keep it balanced equation. And then we get our answer, 62.8 divided by 3.14. 62.8 divided by 3.14 is equal to 20. So 20 is equal to D, or if we write it in its final, diameter is equal to 20 centimeters. Final answer. Let's write our formula. Circumference is equal to diameter times pi. Circumference is equal to 52.8. That's not what I wanted to do. Circumference is 52.8, and that is equal to diameter times pi, which is 3.14. We don't know diameter yet, so we can isolate that variable by applying the inverse operation of the same value to both sides. Then we get 52.8 divided by pi. 52.8 divided by 3.14 is equal to 16.815. 16.815. 16.81 is equal to D. Diameter is equal to 16.81 feet. E, let's write out our equation. It is circumference is equal to diameter times pi. Circumference is 28.9. That will be equal to something, diameter. Oh, wait a second. Step back here. Step back. All right. This is not diameter. We want to find the radius. So we have to divide 16. Eraser. We need to divide this. Diameter equals this. So radius 16.81. So this is going to be 8.4 divided by 2. Diameter radius will equal 8.4 approximately. That's our final answer. 8.4 feet is the radius. Because, yeah, they're looking for R here. Maybe I'll write that on the thing. Anyway, all right. Let's take a step back. All right. Question 3E. Circumference is equal to diameter times pi. Our circumference is 20.8.9. Diameter times 3.14. And so we want to go divide by 3.14 on both sides. Divide by 3.14. And that's going to cancel out. And then 28.9 divided by 3.14, 9.2. So our diameter will equal 9.22, which means our radius, which is equal to diameter divided by 2, is going to be 4.6. Radius will equal 4.6 mi. That's our radius. Cool. Okay. Last one. Our circumference will equal diameter times pi. That means our circumference, 65.3 will be equal to a number, which is our diameter, multiplied by 3.14. And to find that out, we're going to go that and then 3.14 on both sides. So we're going to say 65.3 divided by 3.14. 65.3 divided by 3.14 is 20.79. 20.79 is equal to our diameter. And we want to divide that by 2 to get our radius. 10.385. 10.385. Radius equals 10.38 meters. What our answer says? 3F 10.4. Yeah, it rounded up. Rounded up tiniest little bit, which is fine. Okay. Next one, we need to find the radius of the first three and then the diameter of the next three. All right. Let's do this. So we'll go write out our formula. Area will equal pi times radius squiggle times radius squared. We know our area. It's 26.4 is equal to 3.14 times r squared. So we're going to go divide by 3.14, divide by 3.14, and 20, well, this is going to cancel. So 26.4 divided by 3.14 is 8.4. So 8.4 is equal to radius squared. So then we want to find the square root on both sides. 8.4 square root 2.899. 2.89 is equal to radius, and that's feet. So radius is equal to 2.89 feet squared, and A for A, 2.89, 2.9. Yeah, they rounded up to 1/100th of, so 2.9, which is perfect. Go us. B. So, formula. Area is equal to pi times radius squared. Our area is equal to, whoopsies, let's put in our known amounts. 69.4 is equal to 3.14 times radius squared. We can divide by 3.14 on both sides. Cancels out on this side. And on this side, it equals 69.4 divided by pi. 69.4 divided by 3.14 equals 22.1. 22.1 is equal to the square of the radius. So let's square root these bad boys, and we'll square root 4.7. 4.7 is the square, is our radius, or radius is equal to 4.7 feet. That's it. Good there. All right. Last radius we're finding. Then we have to find the diameter again. So our area formula is area is equal to pi times r squared. Area is equal to, whoa, I always do that. Area is equal to 136.8, which is times 3.14 times r squared. Okay, so now let's isolate our variable. 3.14, divide both sides by 3.14, inverse operation in the same value, which brings us to 136.8. 136.8 divided by 3.14 is 43.566. So 43.56 is equal to the square of our radius. We don't want the square of a radius, we want our radius. So it's 43 square root. Here's our square root, 6.6. 6.6 is equal to our radius, or r is equal to 6.6 yards. YD, that's our radius. 4D. All right, so 4D, same routine. Let's type in our known values. Let's go. Area is equal to pi times radius squared. We know the area is 120.8. We know pi is 3.14, and we know it's multiplied by the radius squared. We don't know the radius. Let's isolate our radius by canceling out, dividing both sides by 3.14. 120.8. 120.8 divided by 3.14, 38.47. 38.47 is equal to the square of our radius. Let's do square root of both of these. Same thing, we're doing the same thing, both sides. Square root, 6.2. 6.2 is equal to the length of our radius. We don't want the length of our radius because this is asking what is our diameter. What's the D? And the D is going to be 6.2 times 2. So we're going to go times 2, 12.4. Diameter is equal to 12.4 miles. M-I, miles. Ooh, big circle here. All right. Area is equal to pi times radius squared. Area is 452.4 times 3.14 times radius squared. Running out of space over here. All right, so let's isolate our variable. 3.14. 3.14 cancels, and that means something is equal to the square of our radius. 452.4. 452.4 divided by 3.14. 144.07. 144.07 is the square of our radius. Let's unsquare it. Find the square root of it, which is 12. That's pretty even. 12 is equal to our radius, but we want our diameter. So we have to multiply this by 2, and that means our diameter is equal to 24 meters. Okay, last one here. Let's do our formula. Area is equal to pi times radius squared. Area is 380.1. 380.1 is equal to pi, times radius squared. Isolate our radius squared variable by dividing by pi on both sides, and that brings us to radius squared is equal to 380.1. 380.1 divided by 3.14. 121.05. 121.05. I can find the root. So the radius will be 11. That'll be 11. Okay, 121. So if I I do this, 11, yeah, 11. So our radius is 11, which means our diameter is 22. 2 times my radius, 22 feet. That's it. That's it. We did it. You got to check your answers and get ready to show your teacher your work for tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in. Let's always remember to math it up.